just a little further.
I made a serious mistake.
Not as serious as yours, I fear.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good week so far. So, there has finally been some kind of legit leaked image of Lenovo's Legion Go handheld PC. And just looking at the initial leaked image, originally people thought it was going to be similar to the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally in terms of form factor and screen size, but it's actually more akin to the Nintendo Switch with detachable controllers. And honestly, that is a game changer. Along with that, it's going to be supporting the confirmed AMD Phoenix chipset, and that's an x86 processor. Even when it comes to gaming laptops, that's pretty impressive. Now, in terms of specs, I couldn't find much on the Legion Go, except for the main processor, which I see as the most important part. But going further into those detachable Joy-Con-like controllers, which the One X player has also adopted, the Legion Go's detachable controllers are more like detachable Steam Deck controllers. It has a trackpad on the right side, opposite access analog sticks like an Xbox 360 controller, so that's very similar to the ROG Ally, a proper looking D-pad, and it doesn't look like you can just slide the controllers into the main unit. It looks more like a magnet that kind of locks in. And I'm assuming that Nintendo put some kind of patent on their Joy-Con specifically so that they can slide in and out, make that nice little clicky noise. But the Lenovo Legion Go seems like it's magnetized like some of the One X player detachable controllers. And the analog sticks look very similar to the ROG Ally. In fact, the Lenovo Legion Go, which is a pretty big tongue twister, looks like all of the handhelds combined. It has the Nintendo Switch's detachable controllers, the Steam Deck's trackpad, and it's kind of a full-size trackpad by the looks of it, and the ROG Ally's RGB lighting around the analog sticks, as well as proper-looking analog triggers from what I see. They don't look too raised up like the ROG Ally's triggers, but they look pretty comfortable from the angle I can see. And I like that high-quality silver lining that it has on the side. Kind of reminds me of the PS Vita, and I personally think the PS Vita is one of the best-looking handheld systems. But it doesn't stop at the detachable controllers. This thing seems to be packing an 8-inch full HD display. Now, I wish I had more information on the specs and everything, but from this image, it looks like a very attractive handheld PC. I'm not sure that one image with that crazy looking white and black back is 100% accurate. The system's most likely going to be silver and black, which are very solid colors. But besides that, it seems to have programmable buttons like in a Pro controller or the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck. And the ultimate chef's kiss would be the stand in these leaked images. It shows the Legion logo nicely aligned with the Legion Go's stand. And that's something that people have been begging to come with these handheld PCs. Just some kind of stand, similar to the Nintendo Switch OLED. People have been begging for this and they haven't put a stand on anything, but Lenovo seems to be listening to everybody. They got the detachable controllers, the 8-inch screen, trackpad, programmable buttons, and a freaking stand. This thing's probably going to make me want to sell my Steam Deck just to get it, because I just got an ROG Ally and I love it. I love Asus products, but Lenovo is really making a good impression right now. If the specs can match how it looks and how comfortable it seems externally to what they have inside of the actual system, then it's going to be big competition for not only the Steam Deck and ROG Ally, but the Nintendo Switch as well. Because most likely Lenovo is going to sell this everywhere, and not only Best Buy. Now, as far as the OS goes, I believe I heard it's going to support Windows 11, so that's something to look forward to. That's going to make me want to get it even more. But most likely, if the Lenovo Legion Go, still a tongue twister, is sold at a decent price, like $600 to $700, then I'm most likely going to wait some time to see what some Linux programmers do so I can install SteamOS in it, because I'm going to want SteamOS in this thing. I want it to be a Nintendo Switch clone that could do way more and with a lot more power, because that Phoenix chip is very promising. It apparently supports DirectX 12 Ultimate and OpenCL version 2.1. It houses 6 cores with 12 threads, but it can clock up to 4.9 gigahertz. And of course it has RDNA 3 architecture. So it is up there with the Z1 Extreme But in terms of power consumption, I'm sure that the Phoenix is a lot more suited for a handheld system like the Legion Go. But hopefully I got those specs correct. And if they are 100% accurate, this is an incredibly impressive CPU to include in anything, including a handheld PC. I think the only thing that's holding me back from, say, selling my ROG Ally for the Legion Go would be, first of all, the name. I don't like the name. That's just me. But ROG Ally can also have an external GPU that they sell separately. And that's something I would want to look into eventually if AMD sends one to me. Please send one to me. But the Steam Deck has already reached its limit with me anyway, with its internal memory being full. And I kind of don't want to spend as much money as I used to spend on games, seeing how some of the verified games just don't work correctly when I spend about $60 to $70 on each of them. So I'm not really buying games for the Steam Deck anymore. I'm going to other launchers that play games a lot better on the ROG Ally. But with the Legion Go, I'm going to want to see how SteamOS works with it, especially with this AMD CPU. Because if the Steam Deck represents anything great, it's the potential of that SteamOS. And no doubt it's going to be complicated to install SteamOS in the Legion Go with those detachable controllers, the trackpad. It has so many things that it needs to live up to. And I'm sure that Valve wants to sell more of their hardware. But at the same time, I can see Valve making a ton of money if they properly share their SteamOS with other companies like Lenovo, Asus. If there was some kind of option and more fine-tuned way to get drivers for different PCs to better support SteamOS, and if Valve helps them do that, that would push their operating system to the point they could actually sell it and then get even more money for Steam. But for the most part, I see a lot of newer handheld PCs using Windows 11 just because it's simpler to implement into their systems and to just get other launchers to work on it and streamline those launchers to their handheld. I'm not saying the SteamOS is an impossible sell, but I can see it being a difficult one. I can see if Microsoft makes Windows 11 handheld mode, that's going to sell a lot more than the SteamOS just because Linux just doesn't provide enough promising compatibility as of right now. I'm actually surprised about this turnaround when it comes to the SteamOS because I really thought that it would make a lot more of a bigger splash and impression on the handheld gaming market. And honestly, when Asus announced the ROG Ally, I assumed that there was going to be some kind of open compatibility with SteamOS, but they seem to ignore that altogether, which is a shame because if a lot of these companies don't have faith in SteamOS, that means compatibility is going to be harder to find on that specific operating system with newer hardware, and there's a lot more work to be had with the Linux community. We need bigger companies to support SteamOS officially so that they can make a better example for other hardware manufacturers so they can support SteamOS just as much as they will. Whoever the company is going to be first. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, not just another handheld gaming PC that supports Windows. I want to see SteamOS evolve and become a lot more compatible and start getting more mainstream. And there are people installing SteamOS in other handheld PCs, but it's not the same if it doesn't get official support. So hopefully we start seeing bigger companies support this operating system because I want to install SteamOS in the Lenovo Legion Go as soon as I can. I'm actually not going to buy that until I know that it supports SteamOS very well. And unfortunately, that's probably going to be a long time. There's going to be tons of people that say, yeah, I got SteamOS, yada, yada, yada. But the support and compatibility with it is most likely going to be janky, like it is with these other handheld devices. And that's a little sad because the only people that are doing that are Steam Deck fans. But let's hope that the Legion Go eventually does see better compatibility or just compatibility in general with the SteamOS properly, because I really want to try SteamOS on different devices, but I want that assurance that it's going to work as well as the Steam Deck works with SteamOS. Honestly, I don't have the most realistic expectations for that day, if that day does come at some point. I think it may take over a year at least for SteamOS to start being implemented as much as Windows is with these handheld PCs. And I believe Valve also has a hand in the delay with sharing SteamOS and its compatibility with other handheld PCs. Sure, you can just download it and do what you want, but it's still up to the user and not Valve themselves. They're focusing on Steam Deck and Steam Deck 2. And I honestly think if they just focus on SteamOS, they can make it so much better and they could actually make it into a solid Windows alternative. But yeah, the the Lenovo Legion Go looks incredible. I love those detachable controllers, although that part where it detaches from kind of doesn't look all that comfortable to use, especially since they look like huge Joy-Cons. And Joy-Cons are comfortable to hold because they pretty much are just a small, skinny platform that's in the center of your hand, so it pretty much doesn't make any type of negative impression on your hands. So I guess it's comfortable because it's small. But with the Legion Go's detachable controllers, they're kind of big. So using it in relaxed couch mode, I guess it's called, where you have both detachable controllers in each hand at your side, I would assume it's not as comfortable to grasp as Joy-Cons would be by how it looks in the leaked image. Everybody is still not 100% confident that these leaked images are official or not, but if they are, I'm definitely going to consider getting one. And my Steam Deck is looking a lot more bleak to me these days, especially with handhelds like the Legion Go coming out. But yeah, what do you guys think of the Lenovo Legion Go? Are you going to cop it? Are you not? What do you think about those detachable controllers? And have you heard more about the specs for this handheld? Because I've looked everywhere, I haven't seen anything. The only thing we got is this magnificent image of the potential system and capabilities. I really hope that it does include a trackpad. That would be great. But I also hope that it has an accurate touchscreen like the ROG Ally. But hopefully the Legion Go has a better touchscreen and isn't just including a trackpad because of the lack of touchscreen accuracy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a good one. Later.